Welcome to the Tomonaga Collective. I would like to apologize for not throwing out the videos I would like to have as fast as I would like. But I've been dealing with some issues that I hope that I can resolve here shortly. I'll know more next week. But I hope to be more regular with these, especially in the summer when they're needed, because you would like to learn more about hydroponics and how things work. So, with that note, I would like to show you that I'm about to plant things in the hydroponic buckets. What I've done was clean them out and put the perlite back in with the meshes, the paint meshes. And the pump has been activated again, and the controls that you can see in this image are operating. The pH level is very high, like 7.7. So once I get the nutrient solution in there and everything will be fine. So what you're seeing now is a 100-gallon tank, and it is being filled with rainwater from my greenhouse collection of 400 gallons. And soon it will be 100%, of course, and so 100 gallons. And then I'll add the nutrient solution, and then I'll add some pH up, because the nutrient solution will tend to reduce the pH level. And so I use the pH up to bring it back up to about 6. And then I want the parts per million to be about 1,000 or better. And so then that will help me out. There was a recent set of rains that have actually given me 50 gallons in the tank already, because the hydroponic system does double as a rain collection device, and it will go and use the sump pump to throw the rainwater back in to the tank. So let's see, I have tomatoes and peppers to plant, and I have 7 times 4 buckets to fill for this season's mix. I don't think I'm going to do squash and things like that, because it tends to have the root systems that go through the paint mesh and down into the drainage system, which really is a pain in the butt, because it clogs up the drains, fills the buckets, and then the water starts overflowing just when you don't need it. So sit back and enjoy. I'll probably paste up, because I have done editing and I have a bunch of video that I didn't publish because it's just been so hectic here. And so maybe I'll be compelled through comments to publish some of that data, and that's more about the tearing down of the hydroponic system and everything like that. And I'll probably publish it anyway, but at a later date. Anyway, so here we are. Thought I'd give you this to a quick view at you. And we're almost at 80 gallons with this tank so far. And I will show you what I'm doing. So now here is the lower bunch of buckets. I actually have some raised buckets as well. I wanted to raise some buckets because I didn't want the rats to get to it, but I think I'm going to plant my tomatoes here this year. So we have a bunch of buckets. As you can hear, probably, there is water actually going through here. A siphoning action is causing water to drip all the time free without the pump running. So that's kind of like a given. That's kind of like a nice bonus. And I'm going to use that to the advantage of the tomatoes that I'm about to plant here. I'm not going to plant them all. I'll probably plant like 8 bushes, because wow, I can really do too much tomatoes. And then I'm going to do peppers and eggplants, and those will be the primary things that I'm going to plant here. And you can hear the pump. All of the water that is being thrown from that tank that you saw earlier is going into the injectors and then draining down these pipes, those white pipes that you see. The yellow bin is where all that water drains to, and then the green hose is where the siphon, where the sump pump is. And you can probably hear it going and throwing water back into the tank. And that pump stays on, and it detects, it's got an automatic sensor in there. So every 3 or 4 hours, this thing will throw on for a minute and inject all the buckets with nutrient solution. And then it'll collect into this yellow tank, and then get siphoned in and sumped into the tank, the 100-gallon tank that you see. The 30-gallon tank is in case I run out of water and I need to use chlorinated water from the city, so I let it sit in that tank for like a few days, and then I actually use that in here. But I don't really need to do that until like really late, and I'm getting pretty good at storing water, so I need it less and less, but it's still important to have just in case. So here I am in the middle of filling out my buckets. You can see that there's the suction, the siphon, that's for free. The pump's not moving at all, but it's still dripping stuff. Perfect for tomatoes, I think. So I have 2 holes cut in. You can see the different holes for my injectors. And I've just replaced the bin with the paint strainer. And now I'm going to fill it up with perlite. It's just that easy. I put the tomatoes down and I strip all the leaves off. And I fill the guy up with perlite. Just like that. Close it. Make sure the tomatoes get through. Close the lid. Bam! I now have 2 tomato plants that are, the roots are way down here and the stems are that long, and they're going to be crawling up in no time once they recover. So on to the next one. I'll go here. There's some old perlite in here, so I'm going to go ahead and lift the paint strainer out. Put in my little bucket. I have a 5-gallon bucket that I'm just temporarily storing stuff in to loosen stuff up. Put it back in the bucket. I don't sterilize or do anything with the perlite. It just seems, I mean, this is the 3rd year these guys have been through here. And so now I have an empty bucket. Let's make sure I can see. Yep, empty bucket. And now I'm going to stick, what, 1 tomato in. I'm going to replace that with, so I've been planting 2 types. One's a Roma tomato, and one is my Japanese Trefoils that I love, the black Japanese Trefoils from Territorial Seeds. And the other one's a Roma, also from Territorial Seeds, but the Romas take longer to just to ripen. So I'm doing both. So this next one will be a Japanese Trefoil. So let's get on that one. So you can use your own starts or buy a start from the store in soil. That's just fine. These guys I started from seed and are in soil. This is a Japanese Trefoil. And as you can tell, there's soil on here. So what I do is I usually use a spray gun and I spray off the soil. So I spray off the soil. It's just that easy. Let's see. There we go. There we go. The soil is sprayed off. And so what I do is I take off any overhanging or any low fruits or any dividing. If they have like a branch, another tomato plant or anything, I go and cut that off. I want 1 stem. And here to about 4 gallons. You know, this is like 4 gallons from here to here. So I'll go ahead and dip that into the bucket that you just saw. So here's a bucket. I will put the bucket or the plant through here. Whoops, there's this growth. I cut it all off. Stick it through the plant. It's a pretty brutal process. I don't really care. And make sure the guy sticks all the way down. You can see where it's all the way down in there. And then I just fill that thing up with perlite. Fill the thing up with perlite.